Oh, hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and I did want to wish a very, very belated Happy Thompson Day from Foxy. Well, a very belated Thompson Day, actually, because Thompson Day would have been on the 16th of December 2020. And if you didn't know who this Thompson is, it's a given surname by a relatively prominent man. He's not famous, but relatively prominent, Searson Thompson. And he was an Englishman who, in his retirement years, lived in Wales. Why he's a prominent man, this Searson Thompson, but not extremely famous, but moderately fairly prominent man, was because he appeared on a British TV series called 100-Year-Old Drivers. And he was still reportedly going on holiday to South Africa when he was in his 90s, and even when he got to the age of 100. He did live well into old age, actually, and he was a known centenarian, Searson Thompson, still going on holiday to South Africa just a couple of months shy of his 100th birthday, and he was still driving when he was 102 and 103. My goodness gracious. I mean, he did actually stop driving, probably, I should think, a few years before he died. But he... Oh, sorry. He did stop driving a few years before he died, but he did pretty well, I do say. I mean, he was still one of the oldest people in the UK to be living in his own homes. I mean, there are many, many people who still live in that. There are some people who still live in their own homes, even at the age he lived to, because he's sadly no longer with us, everybody, because Searson Thompson, he very, very sadly died in July of 2019. I mean, if you didn't know, he lived until he was 107. I mean, because he was 102 and still driving, and 103 and still driving, but he was 107 when he died. I mean, which is nothing but astonishing, I do say. We do get people who live actually even longer than him, and we have a Japanese lady in Japan who's going to be 118 in January and is now the oldest Japanese person ever to have lived. And we had Robert Grant Pitts-Wayton here in England who lived to be 112. And shortly after Searson Thompson's death, we had Alf Smith from Perth and Kinross in Scotland, who lived to be 111, who died just over a week after Searson Thompson did. So there are people who do live very, very long lifespans out there, and certainly these days, as many of you are quite aware, as well as having a Canadian lady, Phyllis Ridgway, well, British-born Canadian lady, Phyllis Ridgway, who's 113, going on for 114 in 2021 of March. Impressive, but I mean, some of you may... Oh dear. Some of you are probably not going to be very celebrated by this, but yes, Searson Thompson was still driving when he was 102, and there were about a few other centenarians over the age of 100 and still driving on the programme he appeared on, as well as the man who was actually going to be 100 still driving, and a 91-year-old on his motorbike. Oh. I mean, I was actually relatively celebrated by it, but a lot of people are not celebrated by it because the risk is far higher when you're older and you've still got a driving license, especially if you're over 90 or over 100, because there are some doctors and some scientists, and certainly the public or global citizens, not to mention, who say people over the age of 90 shouldn't be on the road. They say it in an absolute click, in the click of a finger. They just say it like that. People over 90 shouldn't be on the road. It's dangerous. Well, they have a good point. But as long as they know when it's time to pack up, then it counts. But still, a lot of you might disagree with me. I would understand why, because it is it's a risky matter, driving over the age of 100, and certainly driving over the age of 95, not to mention. Oh well. Well, yes, and he was an interesting man, this Searson Thompson. He was very keen on motorbike stunts in his younger days. I don't think he did it for a living, but I think he did it as a hobby. And I think he's also a World War II he would be a World War II veteran, because he was born in 1911. And if you didn't know, his birthday would have been on the 16th of December, and it's the 28th now, and nearly the 29th, and if he was still alive now, he would be, he'd be 109 years of age now if he was still alive, because he was born in 1911, just a few weeks shy of 1912, and he's still very, very much, no, he's not with us now, no. I mean, if he were alive, he'd be 109, because he was 107 and a half when he died, or over 107 and a half, actually, because he died just over 7 months after his 107th birthday. But he did actually have to go into a home before he died. I mean, he went in a home in, say, just before the spring of 2019, to a home in Tywyn, near Tywyn Wharf in North Wales, not too far from the Tallyclyn steam railway. Searson Thompson went to, and he remained there for the last months of his life, and then he sadly died there. I mean, if I'd seen him when he was, say, 99, and when he was 102, seeing the pictures, I would have expected him to live to be at least 110. You know, I would have expected him to live through the COVID-19 pandemic, and certainly I could have expected him, if he were alive now, see him getting vaccinated against it. Yeah, but, sorry to mention the sad bit, but, yes, ouch. No, not a good habit. Oh dear, no, I shouldn't laugh, I'm sorry, that's something Dave Abel would say. He's probably likely to watch. Oh no, and I'll be hugely slammed by the good man. Oh, and, yes, no, but, I will actually, thank you all for watching, just to let you know, every year, on the 16th of December, will be Thompson Day, in memory of Searson John Thompson, 1911 to 2019. Every year, 16th December is Thompson Day, everybody, just to let you know. Although it's been now over a year, just over a year now since his death, it will always be Thompson Day, the 16th of December, every single year. Thank you indeed for watching. I will show you a few pictures, actually, of Searson Thompson before this video ends. I mean, he was amazing when he was in his, say, 99, 102, who could have been maybe in his early mid-80s, maybe. A very robust man in his 80s when he was in his early hundreds. But before he died, I would have thought he was well into his 90s before he died. I mean, he did sadly lose a lot of weight before he died. He was quite like Edmund in a way, who did get very frail. Well, he lost a lot of weight, unfortunately. I mean, despite that, Edmund actually could have gone on for another year or two, because he went in February of 2020, as some of you already know. Absolutely devastating. Oh gosh. I wouldn't cry. I mean, it would be sad, but if I'd spoken about Edmund's death, say, a week after he died, or say a couple of weeks, or near to, say, just about a week or days even after his death, I would have been very, very upset. No, so it actually took me quite a bit of a while to actually talk about his death and share it to others. No, but I wasn't related to Searson Thompson, but I do feel for his family, though, because he must have been an absolutely inspirational individual to them, and for his family to actually see him on a television program, it must have been a moving moment for them. Yes. And if you guys actually want to watch 100-Year-Old Drivers when he appeared on it, I will link it in the description below. If you click on the link for when I put in 100-Year-Old Drivers, and it'll have the video link, if you click on that, you'll actually see the documentary. He won't be in all the scenes, but you will see him in some of the scenes on 100-Year-Old Drivers. Thanks indeed for watching this belated Happy Thompson Day, everybody, in memory of Searson Thompson. And there will be a few pictures before the video ends, and thanks indeed for watching. Ta-ta, bye-bye, another time. From your friend Foxy, another time.